Would you like to start fixing your health problems, or better yet, would you like to get to a point where your body feels as good as it did when you were a teenager? You know, where you can enjoy all of the activities that life has to offer. You can play with your kids, play with your grandkids. Well, then watch this video and stay till the end, because I'm going to put in a couple of extra tips. But this is going to be some simple things you can do without any special equipment or special training or special abilities that will help you move the needle towards that goal. Okay, so let's start at the start. So if you are out of shape, you are overweight, you are feeling bad, your health's in bad shape, then first thing you got to realize is that whatever you've been doing up to this point, it ain't working. So you're gonna have to make some changes. Now, you don't have to make such dramatic changes that you completely destroy any resemblance to the life that you have already. But you do have to make some changes. So to begin with, let's just start with exercise. Building muscle is one of the most important things you can do, not only to help you motivate through life better, but also to help you live longer, because muscle is a metabolic organ in your body, and it's the most important, one of the most important organs that we have. It's what burns the calories that you consume. It's what helps you move from place to place and be able to function through all the activities that you want to enjoy in life. So building muscle should be one of the key things that you focus on throughout your life. And the way that we build muscle is through progressive resistance. We push our muscles against resistance to a point where they get so tired that they don't really feel like they can do another repetition of whatever activity it is you're trying to do. And at that point, your muscles have been slightly damaged, and then you give them time to recover, and then you come back and you do it again, because once they recover, you give them that recovery time, they come back stronger than they were when you first started. So here's a group of several exercises that you can do without any special equipment, without a special outfit. You don't have to go to a gym, you don't need a membership, you don't need anything, just your body and just a little bit of time. And the little bit of time can be done first thing in the morning when you just get out of bed. You don't have to interrupt any other part of your life. So let's get started. Let's start with probably the most important exercise that you can do, squats. The reason squats are the most important exercise you can do is because they target the largest muscles in your body, the quadriceps, the hamstrings, and the glutes. So how to do a proper squat? Well, start by standing with your feet shoulder width apart, toes slightly turned out, and then lower your body as if you're sitting back into a chair, keeping your back straight. It's important to go as deep as you possibly can, especially if you're doing these without any weights, because it moves your muscles through their full range of motion. Push through your heels to return to the starting position. There's a ton of variations and things you can do to increase the level of difficulty as your fitness level improves. The most obvious thing is you can add weights, which will increase the amount of resistance you need to overcome. You may be at a point where even getting out of a chair is difficult, so there's a lot of modifications you can do to make this easier if you're just getting started, or if it's difficult for you to even get out of a chair. In fact, using a chair is one of the best ways to modify this exercise. You can use a chair to restrict how deep you squat. Simply sit down in the chair and then stand back up. And remember to try to keep your back straight throughout the entire movement. Another alternative is to perform wall sits. Simply lean against a wall with your feet shoulder width apart and slide down until your knees are bent at about a 90-degree angle, and then hold this position for as long as possible. The next exercise I'd like to show you is lunges. Lunges target basically the same muscles that squats target, but they also add an additional level of difficulty by targeting balance and coordination. The proper way to do a lunge is to stand with your feet about hip width apart. Step forward with one leg, bending both knees to a 90-degree angle, then push off the front foot to return to the starting position and repeat with the other leg. You can also do this by stepping backwards rather than forwards, and sometimes that's a little easier from a coordination standpoint. Once again, just like squats, there's a lot of different things you can do to modify this exercise to make it more difficult or to make it more easy if you're an older adult and you struggle with this movement. One way to do it
is to perform stationary lunges. Stand near a chair or a wall or something for support. Step back with one leg, bending again both knees to a 90-degree angle. Hold for a few seconds, then return to the starting position. Or you can even simply assume the position of a lunge with 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, drop down to the 90-degree angle position, and then back up again. And then repeat on the other leg. The next exercise, and another staple in your arsenal, is a push-up. Simple push-ups. The primary muscles targeted by a push-up are the chest, shoulders, triceps, and your core. To perform a basic push-up, start in a plank position with the hands shoulder width apart and the body forming a straight line from head to heels. Lower your body towards the floor, bending your elbows, and then push back up to the starting position. Once again, lots of different ways you can make this more difficult. You can do it with a friend riding on your back. You can elevate your feet onto a platform, which increases the weight that you're pushing up when you do a push-up. And you can modify it to make it easier, once again, if you're an older adult or if you have difficulty performing a normal push-up. If you really struggle with a push-up, you can start by performing wall push-ups. These are done by just simply standing, facing a wall, arms extended, hands shoulder width apart, lean forward, bending your elbows to bring your chest closer to the wall, push back to the starting position. As your strength improves, you can find an object that's lower than the wall but not yet all the way to the ground. Another way you can modify this exercise is, rather than starting in a plank position, start just on all fours on your hands and knees and do the push-ups from that position with your knees on the ground. The next exercise is a chin-up. Now, this one is super difficult for anyone that's out of shape, but it's a great exercise to add into your arsenal. And if you can't do a chin-up now, it's certainly one you should add as a goal to be able to do. The muscles that are targeted by a chin-up are your back, your biceps, and your forearms. The proper way to do a chin-up is to grasp a pull-up bar with an overhand grip, hands shoulder width apart, and pull your body up until your chin clears the bar. Then simply lower yourself back down to the starting position. There's a couple of easy modifications you can do to make this simpler if you're unable to perform a pull-up. One of them is to find a couple of bars or a couple of sturdy chairs, something that allows you to lean back almost horizontally, and then do a pull-up from that position where you're not lifting your entire body, you're just lifting part of your body weight. This will allow you to get accustomed to the movement and to strengthen your back and biceps. You can also use resistance bands. You can have a friend hold onto your legs and assist you in your pull-ups. Or you can step up on a chair and start at the top of the pull-up and just let yourself down rather than pulling your whole body weight up at one time. The next exercise is dips. Dips primarily target the triceps, the chest, and the shoulders, but they also involve your core. The proper way to do a dip is to grab 2 parallel bars with your hands about shoulder width apart, lower your body until your elbows form a 90-degree angle, and then push yourself back up to the starting position. Again, lots of ways to modify this to make it easier. You can perform tricep dips using a sturdy chair or a bench. You can sit on the edge of the chair, gripping the edge with your hands. Slide your bottom off the chair, bending your elbows to lower your body towards the floor, and then push yourself back up to the starting position. Or you can use the chair to support your weight on your knees and push yourself up. You can use your legs as an assist while you're pushing yourself up, and then just lower yourself back down to the starting position. And even though all of these exercises involve your core, it's not a bad idea to throw in some abdominal exercises to strengthen your core. So one of the simple core exercises is a crunch. Simply lie down on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. Place your hands behind your head, lift your shoulders off the floor, curling your upper body towards your knees. Lower your body back to the original starting position. If you can't go through a full range of motion, don't worry. Start moving just as far as you can move and work on it, and eventually you'll be able to get where you can move through a full range of motion with this exercise. Another alternative would be to do leg raises. You start in the same position, lie on your back with your legs extended, and then lift your legs towards the ceiling, keeping them straight, then lower your legs back down to the starting position. So remember, with all of these exercises, begin with a few repetitions of each exercise and gradually increase the number as you get stronger. Remember, the goal is consistent improvement. If you experience pain, stop and rest. Focus on maintaining proper form to avoid injuries, and aim for 3 to 4 workouts per week. As you get stronger, gradually increase the difficulty of the exercises. By incorporating these exercises into your daily routine, you can build strength, improve flexibility, and enhance your overall fitness. Okay, so that's a group of very simple exercises that you can incorporate into your daily life. And I would recommend that you split those exercises up into 2 different workouts. Probably the easiest split to do is things that work your lower body, your legs, do those on one day, and things that work your upper body, do those on another day. That makes it possible for you to work out, let's just say day 1, your lower body, day 2, your upper body, day 3 is a day of rest, and on that day of rest, actually your lower body is getting a day of rest from the day that you're working your upper body. So every muscle group then gets 2 days of rest before you go back and work it again. So you end up working out maybe 4 times a week, tops. Very simple, very easy to keep up with, and it's not going to disturb your lifestyle. So now the other little tip I'd like to give you that probably has even a more profound effect on you is your diet. And I'm going to boil this down to the simplest thing that I can possibly boil it down to. Number 1, don't add sugar to anything. Try and avoid sugar at all costs. It's probably one of the most harmful things that you can put in your body. And first, I'll preface number 2 with the fact that we've had this explosion in obesity and health problems since the 1950s. And it was around the 1950s that we started producing a lot more ultra-processed foods. And those ultra-processed foods were primarily grain products, soy products, where we've taken these basically potentially healthy things and processed them and added additives and made them into a form that's very detrimental to our health. It's the one single thing that you can track along with if there was a graph, you could track the production of those types of foods right along with the increase in obesity and health problems in America in particular. The final simple tip that I have is don't eat anything that has an ingredients list. That's as simple as I can make it. Now certainly there's exceptions to that, but that's one simple way you can look at it. If you pick up something on a shelf at the store and it's got a list of ingredients, it's probably not going to be good for you. Or at least it's certainly not going to help advance your goal to improve your health and fitness. So let me throw in one more thing on an exercise tip too. It's very important. VO2 max is a measure of your body's ability to uptake oxygen. So it's another one of the important markers of longevity, of being able to live longer. Another thing you should add into your workout, into your schedule on a daily basis is to try and get more exercise that's gonna exercise your heart and lungs. So you can do this simple ways, like don't look for the closest parking space when you go to the store. Take the stairs instead of the elevator, and maybe go for a long walk with your loved ones. You could also add in a higher level of workouts for your heart and lungs, like jumping rope or going for a jog or any number of things. And even with your workouts, you can do exercises like burpees, which I didn't show in this video, but burpees are one that exercises your heart and lungs and your whole body at the same time. So there's a lot of different ways you can incorporate that, but it is important that you also push your heart and lungs so that they also improve over time instead of just disintegrating with age. So that pretty well sums it up. I hope that you take advantage of those tips and that you have success in your health and fitness journey. And if you like this video, please share it with a friend, hit the like button, please subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching and good luck with your health and fitness goals.